Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, before we get started, I like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rikakadash, and double on those great meals on our lunch is truth. And also to the whole elect that is scattered abroad. I like to say, shalom, and come back here today with another great, powerful lesson through the spirit of power of Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. So the title of today's lesson is possible railroad strike and supply chain disruption. So I like to say shalom to all our listen and learn. Hope this will help you today and guide you back in the path of righteousness and back to the true power, which in fact is Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. So we knowing that if the railroad go on strike, we knowing that what America is what is going to shut down. And about we knowing that that will bring what America, which in fact is Babylon the Great, to what? To his knees. So that about we're living in these times, real time. So we'll jump right into the lesson. And I hope that you get edified by today's lesson. We'll read this news article. Then after the news article, we'll put a few videos around it. And I hope that you get edified. So let's start off with this news article. CNN Business. And it reads, it says, America faces a possible rail strike in 2 weeks after largest union rejects labor deal. And it's dated November the 21st, 2022. That was just yesterday. So now it says America faces a growing risk of a crippling national freight rail strike in 2 weeks. The rank and file member of the nation's largest rail union, which represent the industry conductors, rejected a tentative labor deal with freight railroads, the union announced Monday. The nation's second largest rail union, which represents engineers, ratified its own contract, but the failures of the conductors to ratify their deal is another setback to efforts to avoid a strike. With these votes, all 12 rail unions have now completed their ratification process, with members of 8 of the union voting in favor of deals and 4 voting against it. The 4 unions that have voted no will remain on the job until at least early next month, while negotiations are held to try to avoid a strike that could cause widespread disruption in the national and in the nation's still struggling supply chain and overall economy. And we already know that we have a collapsing economy. We have the dollar is constantly collapsing. We're seeing that the infrastructure is constantly collapsing all around. We knowing that that if the railroad go, that means that our energy go, our food go. You know what I'm saying? Our gasoline go. So a lot of things, our necessity, our way of life are getting ready to change if that happens. So it's a possibility, so there's still a negotiate, within 2 weeks it may be a possible strike. But that is about it. Hey, we knowing that the signs of the times are here. The Lord is breaking the staff of the bread. And that about we knowing that, hey, they're trying to bring this order out of chaos. That's why we telling you that, it will be food shortage. It will be a water short. Also rolling blackouts. A lot of things are getting ready to come down the pipeline. And we constantly warn you left and right. So let's start the first video. Let's go to the first video. One moment. Let's go here to the first video. One moment.
This railway union strike is a massive investing opportunity. The strike hasn't officially happened just yet, but strikes obviously lead to a price decrease in the stock, here with Union Pacific. But when the strikes are resolved, the stock price skyrockets. And this is going to get resolved, because every day that it isn't resolved will be a $2 billion hit a day to the economy. And would decimate already fragile supply chains. Additionally, Union Pacific is one of the few healthy companies out there showing increased revenue, 5.8 billion, 6.2 billion, 6.5 billion, quarter over quarter. You also have a golden cross that is forming. I think the best move is to wait for price to get above 219, above this 200-day EMA. And if the news is showing that the strike is nearing an end, which we'll want to track the story up to December 9th. I'll keep you updated on this one.
Biden to call on truckers, ships, planes if freight railroad strike happens. Oh yeah? That will work for you, won't it? How the hell you think we're going to get our diesel fuel when the trains stop hauling the diesel fuel? We don't have enough trucks to supply the whole country. Furthermore, the truckers have asked for you to ease trucking regulations for the last however many years, but you just keep on adding on to them rather than ease them.
It was the dark of the moon.
And thirdly, you don't seem to be worried about truckers' freight rates or any of that. And the hours of service, hell, we're good enough to run 24 hours a day when there's an emergency, when you deem there is. But when we need it, nope, you guys can't do that. So I urge all truckers to say, screw you. Don't run any extra hours. You run your 11 hours and have a great day.
Well, it seems like the railroad workers have not reached an agreement, as I reported a few weeks ago. Looks like they're set to strike for November, just before Christmas. For you railroad workers, I'm sorry, that's a tough time to go on strike. The union workers would like better working conditions, 24% increase, and a $5,000 bonus. They're upset that the railroad is making millions off their backs, and they're not getting it. They're not getting a piece of the pie. And it's their backs that the union is making money off of. So good luck to you railroad workers, especially at Christmas time. I hope you can come to an agreement. If not, us truckers will be there to pick up your freight. Well, it seems
Amazon is starting to lay off 10,000 people from their company. It's not all in one location, it's throughout the whole company. Amazon is currently employing 1.5 million people globally. Because of inflation and nobody spending as much money as they were doing during the pandemic, the projected income has decreased significantly. During the pandemic, nobody was coming out. Nobody was going out of their house. So they were just buying stuff from Amazon. So they increased the hiring rate during the pandemic by 100,000 employees. But because people are going out now, people are not buying as much stuff on Amazon, they're losing money. Amazon is not the only tech company that has been laying off employees. Facebook, Meta, has laid off 11,000 people. Twitter has laid off 3,700 people. So it's not just Amazon that's taking a hit. All the tech companies that were booming during the pandemic are now losing money. The layoffs are not going to affect the people that are packing the stuff in boxes, so don't worry, you're still going to get your stuff on time. And the delivery people are not going to be affected by this. Do you think Amazon should be laying off people, or should they just take the hit? Because they are making billions of dollars still. Like the video, follow me for more.
So let's go, let's start off in the book of 2 Corinthians, so you're seeing that 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11. So you're seeing that, major layoffs across America, with Amazon, with Facebook, with else, Twitter and many others, you know what I'm saying? And also, it's a possible railroad strike, it's coming back on the menu again. And they have not made no type of agreement. And we knowing once that happened that, hey, that is getting ready to shut down America. And hey, we're knowing what time that we're living in. A lot of people still are thinking that they're a good case. And hey, all of a sudden, your necessity, your way of life are getting ready to change in ways that you do not know how. We at the beginning of sorrows, and great death, great mourning, and great persecution. So let's open up the lesson one moment. Let's open up the lesson in 2 Corinthians chapter 2, and we'll start up at verse 11. 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11 says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. And but we know exactly what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And everybody, order out of chaos. We seeing that they're causing this disruption. They seeing that the supply chain lines are breaking out. We seeing that they causing this fuel shortage. You know what I'm saying? These diesel shortage. So a lot of things are getting ready to happen. All hell is getting ready to break loose. These layoffs and everybody, to put you in a chokehold, to make you a petrol slave. So you know what I'm saying? So what Satan is trying to get what advantage, and that advantage is this new world order, this digital society. And who is the physical counterpart of Satan? That's the so-called white man, the devil that the Bible speaks of. And hey, we don't want him to get an advantage over us, because we trust and believe in Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua. So he's getting ready to try to form his enterprise. But the Lord is in perfect control. And that's why we're measuring time diligently in itself, because we're living in these times, real time. So we knowing if that we have that possible railroad strike, we knowing that, hey, this will strike America at its knees, and this place it will be a third world country overnight. So now let's get another quick precept. Let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 9. Ecclesiastes chapter 9. One moment. Ecclesiastes chapter 9 and verse 12. Ecclesiastes chapter 9 and verse 12. And it reads that for man also knoweth not his time, as the fishes that are taken in an evil net, and as the birds that are caught in the snare, so are the sons of men snared in a evil time, when it falleth suddenly upon them. And that's what's getting ready to happen. So we knowing if that happened, you know what I'm saying, all hell will break loose. And so a lot of people are not considered. A lot of people are still thinking that they're a good case, still, you know what I'm saying, are going on with their daily life. And all of a sudden, bam, it will happen. You know what I'm saying? Just overnight, you know what I'm saying? In a moment. And hey, that's why we must always redeem the time, walk circumspectly, because we are living in these evil times. And you do not want Satan to get advantage of you, which in fact it's the so-called white man, the devil that the Bible speaks of. He's trying to roll out this new world order to try to make you a petrol slave. And we constantly warn you left and right, order out of chaos, and food shortage, starvation. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be coming in a big way. And everybody's going to be great desperation, great mourning, great sorrow is right upon us. And everybody, we constantly warning you left and right. It is here. It is at the door. And everybody, your way of life is getting ready to change. Jacob's trouble is at the door. So now let's go to second Ezra chapter 6. Second Ezra chapter 6, one moment. Second Ezra chapter 6, and we'll start up at verse 22. Second Ezra chapter 6 and verse 22. And it reads, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. And that's exactly what's going to happen. If those railroads shut down, you know what I'm saying? So you won't be able to get your diesel, your gasoline, your food, your necessity, your medical supply. All things going to shut down, your grocery store, and overnight, and so it's going to be a vexation of spirit. We coming there. So the sown places right before our is becoming unsown. Also, hyperinflation is right upon it. We seeing, you know what I'm saying, a lot of things are happening. You know what I'm saying? We seeing that the economy is constantly plunging. We seeing that the dollar's in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Hey, it's happening all around us. And either you will hear or either you will forbear. So let's start back up at verse 23. It says, and the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man hears, they shall be suddenly afraid. So hey, when that time comes, you know what I'm saying, and they tell you that, hey, you know what I'm saying, hey, the dollar has crashed, all hell would break loose, and people going, great fear is fall upon people. A lot of people going to be bugged out of their mind, because they don't have the faith. They did not believe. And the Lord said, they shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. So now let's go to Isaiah chapter 30. Isaiah chapter 30, one moment. Isaiah chapter 30, and we'll start at verse 2. Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 2. And it reads that walk down into Egypt, or modern day America, and have not axe at my mouth the prophet to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh. Modern day Pharaoh is what? The so-called white man. And to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Trust in what? This fallen what? Economy. This fallen government, which in fact is Babylon the Great, America. And out about we constantly warn you left, right. But you trust in what? Oppression. You trust in what? The so-called white man. You trust in what? Perversion. And out about it will only lead to your demise. So let's read that again. That walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth, the prophet, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Verse 3, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. And so a lot of people at that time gonna be bugged out of their mind because they trust in this place. You know, a lot of people gonna line up and take that pseudo sign. You know what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? And a lot of people gonna take the hokey poke. And hey, it's right upon us. And we constantly warning you left and right. So a lot of people still thinking that they're a good case because they're thinking about the holiday. They're eating good. They're drinking good. But all of a sudden, all hell will break loose. So now let's drop down to verse. Let's drop down to verse Isaiah chapter 30. And let's drop down to verse one moment. Let's drop down to verse 11. And it says, get you out of the way, turn aside out of the path, cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. No, let's start back. Let's start at verse 9. So like Isaiah chapter 30, and let's start up at verse 9. It said that this is a rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the laws of the Lord, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Verse 10, which say to the seer, see not, and to the prophet, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceit. So right now, as we telling you, hey, great destruction, great death and mourning. The economy is getting ready to crash. We telling you about this digital society, but a lot of our people still are not believe. They still are scoffing and mock, still are, are being mockers. Constantly, hating, constantly hating the one that sent us, which in fact was Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, being despisers of the word, not standing up for rights. They want to hear lies and deceit. To tell them that everything is going to be all right. That, hey, the MOTB is not here. That the hokey poke, that's not that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So everything is fine. The Lord is going to save everyone. But that about you're getting ready to die. If you love it here, you're getting ready to die here. So now, let's start back up at Isaiah chapter 30, and we'll start back up at verse 12. It said, wherefore thus said the Holy One of Israel, because ye despise the word, and trust in oppression and perverseness and stay thereon. Verse 13, therefore this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out of the walls, whose breaking comes suddenly at an instant. And out about it, hey, all of a sudden, America got so many holes and cracks. It's getting ready to what? To collapse. It's getting ready to what? To crumble. This place is finished. It's no coming back from this place. It will be no inhabitant left in. The Lord is getting ready to judge this place with what? With that fervent heat, the indignation of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. And out about everything around us is breaking down. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, the vibration is changing all around. And what? And righteousness is constantly flourishing throughout the earth. And also the truth is being declared. And out about what? Y'all don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? You rebuke him that rebukes at the gate. And out about, hey, all you want to hear is smooth things. All these lies and deceit is getting ready to what? Get you put into what? The lake of fire. You would know it. Death by pain. So now, let's go to one moment. Let's go to Ecclesiastes one moment. Let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 12. A very quick lesson through the Spirit. Ecclesiastes chapter 12, one moment. Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 3. Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 3, we start here. And it reads, in the day when the keeper of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. So the days ahead are going to be very dark. We're in that ill time right now. We keep telling you left and right. We right upon that hour of temptation, Jacob trouble. Everyone Everyone on the planet is getting ready to be tried, whether you believe or not, whether you have the faith or not. And it really does not matter, because everyone is standing in their life. We read upon judgment, and we constantly warn you left and right. It is here. So all of a sudden, the grind is getting ready to cease. You know what I'm saying? Your way of life is getting ready to change in ways that you do not know how. A lot of people going to be travailing like a woman with child. So now let's start back up. Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 4, it said, and the door shall be shut in the street, and when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the birds, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. And everybody, so when you wake up in the morning, when you hear the birds chirping, and everybody won't be nothing to do. When you look out the window, you'll see nothing but darkness, an evil time, a time of trouble that you had never seen before. So all the women's around here right there shaking, twerking and all that's gonna cease. Now everybody, they're gonna be trying to seek a man in that day. You know what I'm saying? And everybody, hey, you're in for a rude awake. And everybody, the Lord said, I will laugh at your calamity. How you gonna laugh at it? Laugh at your calamity through what? Through the prophet. And we constantly sighing and crying left and right, warning you, telling you that, hey, this place is getting ready to be a third world country. We telling you that the economy is getting ready to crash. Your money is not going to be any more good anymore. And also, this red devil is getting ready to lose his mind. He's getting ready to come down with great wrath. And we constantly warn, we are here. We're in that spiritual warfare. Also, we're in a transition of power. It's right before our eye. All of a sudden, and hey, a lot of people are in for a rude awakening. So now let's get one moment. Let's go to Ezekiel. One moment. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 14. Ezekiel chapter 14. One moment. Ezekiel chapter 14. One moment. Ezekiel chapter 14. One moment. Chapter 14 and verse 13. One moment. And it reads, says, Son of man, when the land sinneth against me by trespassing grievously, then will I stretch out my hand upon it, and I will break the staff of bread thereof, and I will send famine upon it, and I will cut off man and beast from it. And that's exactly what's getting ready to happen. The staff or the bread is what? Your way of life, your necessities. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? A lot of people going to be looking for food. A lot of people going to be looking for water. A lot of people going to be looking for medication. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people have a lot of different elements, like high blood pressure, diabetes. A lot of people, have a great medical condition. And when that time of trouble comes, everything is going to shut down. And it's going to be a time of trouble that we have never seen before. What? Great death, great money. So what? The body count is getting ready to be great. This place is going to be like a war zone. And everybody's going to be killed or be killed. And everybody, we read upon that time. And we constantly warning you left and right. Left and right. It is at the door. So make you ready for the battle. So everybody, because we coming upon that time. And that time is what? Jacob's trouble once again. So let's go to 2nd Ezra chapter 16. One moment. 2nd Ezra chapter 16. One moment. 2nd Ezra chapter 16. And we'll start at verse 34. 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse 34. We'll start here. And it reads that in the war shall their bridegroom be destroyed, and their husband shall perish of famine. Verse 35 say, hear now these things and understand them, ye servants of the Lord. Verse 36 said, behold the word of the Lord, receive it, believe not the gods of whom the Lord spoke. Verse 37, behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack. And they're not slacking down. We seeing that, we keep saying that might be a possible railroad strike. We already know that's going to hit the core of America. We knowing that, hey, all the water is drying up all over the place. We seeing hyperinflation. They telling you about food short. They telling you about rolling blackouts, no internet, no lights. This could be a possible dark winter. We're right upon that time. It would be worse than 70 AD. So what? The bridegroom will have no wives, no husbands. You know what I'm saying? So that we're upon that time, and we constantly warning you left and right. So let's start back up one moment. Let's start back up, and one thing about, and the plagues are not slacking down. We're seeing we're having all these different weather patterns, which in fact, they manipulate the weather with this hot weather machine, but they all doing it through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, because he's in perfect control. And we're seeing that it's cold all across America, you know what I'm saying? So it's blizzards and snowing, flooding all across, so the plagues are not slacking down, earthquakes in diverse places, you know what I'm saying? Rumors of wars, so we are in this time, real time, all of a sudden. So now start back up. 2nd Ezra chapter 6. We start back up at verse 38. And it reads, and when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, and 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pain compass her wounds, which pains when the child comes forth, they slack not a moment. So that about when that time of trouble comes, a lot of men gonna have that travailing like a woman. They're gonna be in great sorrow, great pain. They go, oh, help me, oh Lord Jesus. It's gonna be too late. You know what I'm saying? And out about the Lord said, they shall seek me early, but they shall not find. So a lot of our people right now, they don't consider. They still are going on with their daily life. They still are getting ready for the holiday. For what? For birthday, partying and drinking in the house of mirth. In the house of mirth. So like, and I about, hey, it's getting ready to be a thing of the past. And I about, we constantly warn you left and right. That vaccination of the spirit is getting ready to come upon the one that did not believe, the one that didn't have the faith, the one that was scoffing and mocked. And I about, hey, we're here. And the Lord said, they shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. So now let's start back up. Verse 39 says, even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the whole world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. Verse 40, O my people, hear my word, make you ready to thy battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. And I about, hey, we in these evil time, this ill time, Jacob's trouble, the beginning of sorrow. And I about, we're gonna trust and believe in Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. The Lord will be our refuge in times of trouble, our stronghold. Cause we trust and believe in Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. So the Lord is gonna direct our path. And I about, we're gonna be moving from place to place. You know what I'm saying? So hey, the Lord said he will provide for us. He will sustain us. He will deliver us in those times of trouble. And I about, all hell is getting ready to break loose. So now let's go to our last and final script and we'll close out. Let's go to Luke chapter 21. Luke chapter 21. One moment. Luke chapter 21. And we'll start up at verse 34. Luke chapter 21 and verse 34. And it reads, said, and take heed to yourself. Let at any time your heart or your mind be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and cares of this life, and so that the day come upon you unawares. Verse 35, for as a snare shall it come, and all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth. And I'd about to say, so it'll come like a snare. And when you're not paying attention, when you are sleeping, when you're relaxing in your lead, as of the days of old, in Noah's time, in Lot's time, you know what I'm saying? And also in these times, there's nothing new under the sun. So it's going to come like a trap and a snare. It's going to be a stumbling block of your iniquity, because you did not want to hear. You did not want to see what's happening. You must be spiritual to see what's coming. And we still have a lot of scoffing and mock. Still have a people despising the word. We still have a lot of people will not stand up for righteousness. And the only one that will stand up for right is is the elect, the house of David, the true believers of Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. So that everybody hey, let go of the mortal thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Let go of the weak nature. Get your house in order. Get your mind right. Cause hey, we coming upon this time. You know what I'm saying? Hey, if that railroad strike, hey, man, we're gonna be in trouble. And hey, we're here. So let's start back up. Luke chapter 21 and verse 36. And it reads that, it said, watch ye therefore, and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man, Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. So you must always be watching, praying, walking circumspect, measuring the time diligently in itself, because we're living in the last day, whether you believe it or not. Either you will hear or either you will forbear. Hey, it is at the door. And the title of the daily lesson, once again, is possible railroad strike and supply chain disruption. So before we close out, we go back to that video. One moment. Let's go back to this video. One moment. Let me get it back up.
Amazon.
One moment. Let's go back to the first video. And we'll close out here.
This railway union strike is a massive investing opportunity. The strike hasn't officially happened just yet, but strikes obviously lead to a price decrease in the stock, here with Union Pacific. But when the strikes are resolved, the stock price skyrockets. And this is going to get resolved, because every day that it isn't resolved will be a $2 billion hit a day to the economy. And would decimate already fragile supply chains. Additionally, Union Pacific is one of the few healthy companies out there showing increased revenue, 5.8 billion, 6.2 billion, 6.5 billion, quarter over quarter. You also have a golden cross that is forming. I think the best move is to wait for price to get above 219, above this 200-day EMA. And if the news is showing that the strike is nearing an end, which we'll want to track the story up to December 9th. I'll keep you updated on this one.
So I hope you got edified by today's lesson. And we're very close and out about it. If that railroad do strike, we knowing that that's going to shut down America. And out about, we're not ignorant of Satan's device. So the title of today's lesson, once again, is possible railroad strike, supply chain disruption. So I like to say, I like to give all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem, Rikakadash. And I like to say, Shalom.